Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. So, today we're going to be talking about just how much land is left for ZeniMax Online Studios when it comes to the Elder Scrolls Online game. And so, let's just dive right into it. It's pretty self explanatory. So, first of all, I just want to comment. I don't know why whoever made this put these here, these all here, blocking areas here and here. Like, you're blocking areas of the map. Like, these should probably be over here or something. You know, these two should be over here. Or just have a dedicated area for stuff that isn't like. Anyway, thought that was dumb because they're not like tied to anything. It even says Greymore chapter, so you can put these over here. Anyway, that's not the point of the video. Um, so I will say that at first I was kind of worried in the past. I was like, I don't really know how much land they have left. They've done so much recently. But you know what really changed my mind was High Isle. If you look over here, this is High Isle right here. That is like such a small area. Now, at first, I was like, oh man, like I look at areas like this here, like Central elsewhere, and what the Mazar Cavern is blocking for this is Solstheim right here. I'm like, man, and like even this area here and like this area here, I'm like, these are so small compared to all these other chapters. I mean, you look at Blackwood and even Craglorn, like they're so big compared to like tiny little High Isle here. High Isle is basically the size of this area of Somerset. I was like, oh no, we're in trouble. But then I saw what they did with High Isle. I mean, I didn't buy High Isle until Necron came out because I had to buy Necron. I really don't like the Arcanist class. For those who say it's overpowered, I firmly believe are not testing it at all. Um, I bought it because I love Hermaeus Mora. I think he's one of my favorite Daedric princes. He's, if not my absolute favorite Daedric prince. So, um, when I recently bought, I was like, man, they really made this. They made the most out of this. They made High Isle look just as big as like Blackwood or, some other places. So I was impressed. I was really impressed, I must say. Um, so that really opens things up, and especially this new format where they're only releasing one chapter, a year. No longer are they doing a chapter and a zone. They're just doing a chapter. I think that really extends their life. Because just talking about, if you just talk about those small areas, let's say we're in 2023. This is the 2023 area. So this would, I'm not, no, I don't have any sort of insight. I'm just saying, I'm just going to areas and being like, so, this is this is, let's say this is 2024, 2025, 2026, maybe including that, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 30. So you get it. I mean, they have over 15 plus years of content based on the changes that they make. Now, whether or not the game lasts that long is obviously a complete other story. But I believe that it could. They might have to make some adjustments. I think it wouldn't be the worst idea to make one of these other areas around here somewhere another PvP area. Like maybe I don't want to lose any sort of areas like we lost the entirety of Cyrodiil, or not entirety, but the majority of Cyrodiil to this PvP. Um, but I mean, you got now this map is completely wrong, but putting that aside, I mean, you got Winterhold, Dawnstar, you got um, Whiterun area here, some more of the Reach Whiterun area. You got more of like the Falkreath area down here. Um, you got this part of Morrowind. You got almost the entirety of Hammerfell, some of Cyrodiil, another part of Cyrodiil and Blackmarsh, a good part of Blackmarsh, the rest of Elsewhere. I mean, then you got all these islands. You got Solstheim. You got this island, which I believe is. Oh, God, it starts with an O. In Skyrim, a lot of people didn't know that not all of Skyrim was actually in Skyrim. There were things that were owned um, by the province of Skyrim that weren't in the game, like parts of what is, I guess, Craglorn, but like parts of high brain fart. Was it Dragon something, West Dragon something, or East Dragon something was on? Anyway, that's not the point. But there's a lot of area left, and do a quick rant on why I think, while I have this open, on what I think is wrong with Cyrodiil, and in terms of why it's so laggy. Look at its size, guys. Just in this scaled down version, look at this size. Remember how open Cyrodiil is. You can fit Craglorn in there. You can fit the Rift in there. You can probably fit the Reach in there. That's 3 zones worth of open space. That's crazy. They need to cut off some of this, like put some of these in loading areas, and I think that would really, really help. Because just look at the size compared to other things that have been released. Even the much loved Orsinium, you can fit like 4 Orsiniums in here in terms of size. So I mean that's just ridiculous. So I mean, look at, you got these islands down here. The only thing I'd really, really be worried about is a chapter based on Bosmer. Now, I will say that it seems that ZeniMax has abandoned um, something they said. Now, that's not shocking because they changed their mind based on how the market is changing and based on what they need to do that's best for themselves and their company and their business. But they said that they wanted to do a deep dive on each race before revisiting any sort of area. Now, I know obviously that's not true because we're going back to Telvanni Peninsula, which is Dunmer. But that would have meant that this year and next year would have been uh, Bosmer or Redguard, either or. Like whatever we didn't get this year, we wouldn't get the other next year. But they abandoned that, and I'm actually kind of happy about that because if you look at Bosmer here, there's nothing. I mean, these weren't made for this game. To my knowledge, these islands, the Sister Islands, were always kind of there. Just like Ross Korea's always up here, like right here-ish. And then there's another island right here that was owned by, that's at least in the fourth era, it's owned by Solitude, starts with an O, you know, and like, Solstheim's right here. The islands are always there. But yeah, there's nothing here. You couldn't have a Bosmer chapter unless you said that they started to reach their land up here, that they started to invade up here. And even then, this was a stretch because this was like kind of like a mix because this was an area that the Bosmer gave the Khajiit, But all of Valenwood is in the base game, the base game. The only areas that Aldmeri Dominion have left is Central Elsewhere, which I am excited whenever this comes out. I have no idea when it's going to come out, but I hopefully it will come out at some point. That'd be cool. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Bosmer, I think Bosmer's done. I don't think we're going to get another Bosmer chapter. I mean, you could do something like Daedric, and then, like basically nothing based in actual Tamriel. You could do it all off Tamriel if you wanted, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. But so many years, guys, of content. You don't really if you absolutely love this game and you're like, man, they must have like covered a ton of area already, right? Yeah, they did. They did kind of ton of area, but look all the area they have left, and it's based on now that they're only doing one area a year, they've significantly increased, you know, their ability to last, especially with how small of an area High Isle is and how big they made it look. I mean, Galen is no bigger than Strauss Mackay. Look at that. Galen, Strauss Mackay. Really not that much difference, but yet Strauss Mackay is so much smaller in space than Galen, right? In game. So, I mean, you look at this, like I said, I mean, it's 2024, 2020, 2025, 2020, 2026, 2027, 2028, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So we're already in 2034 and we haven't even covered Hammerfell yet. And Hammerfell is probably one, two, like 3 or 4 years. So we're already near like 2040, and we're not even including the islands that are around, plus anything off land that they could do. They could do different dimensions. They could do the Soul Cairn. They could do different Daedric realms. There's other realms too, like Battlespire. They could maybe get Bethesda's permission to go down here and go to the Sea Elves land. They could go there. I mean, it is just absolutely nuts. All the land that they have left to do. So don't worry. If you love this game, you want to see it succeed, but you're worried about land, how much could they possibly have left? They have like 20 years left of land. Easy. But they got to keep it going. They got to keep, players happy. I think that's right now the biggest thing. But are you excited about this news? Are you like, does this bum you out? I will admit, this kind of bums me out only because I want to see Winter. I want to see um, Winterhold, and I want to see Whiterun. Winterhold, really. I want to see what Winterhold looked before it got wiped. That's all. I mean, I remember buying this game and being excited about this. It was a different game back then, though. You can tell because this is a veteran group zone. Look how big it is. This is how big zones were gonna be. Adventure zones, they called them. It was such a different game back then. That game wouldn't have survived. As much as people crap on this game now, the game that it was back in 2014, where it was all adventure zones and forced group content and all that stuff, that game would not have survived to today. No way. But I mean, I don't. Who knows when we're gonna get? I mean, 20 years worth of content. This might be what Winterhold might be the final chapter. So it's like, oh man, that's kind of a downer. But other than that, I'm pretty excited. What do you think? Um, this map is whoever made it. I commend you. GameMaps.com. This is really good. Beyond these being in the actual like way, I mean it's done really good, and you keep up with it. That's good. Hopefully you keep up with it. As the game progresses even further. But so thank you for this map. You can find this by just typing in ESO world game, ESO world map, or no, ESO game map. Sorry, and this should pop up as one of the options. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, and I will see you in the next one.